Good evening, Houdat Nation, and happy Wednesday on a Thursday to our Bayou Blitz family. I hope everybody is doing well out there. Hell, if you're a Saints fan, I don't see how you can't be doing well. As much as of a role as this team has been on, makes it fun to talk about, makes it fun to cover. And I know we're going to have a lot of fun on our show tonight. Welcome to this week's episode of the Bayou Blitz. I am Bob Rose. I'm one of your co-hosts to your Bayou Blitz podcast. Joining me is my partner in crime, taking his show on the road again, Brendan Boylan. Brendan, how are you tonight?
Good. It never stops. You know this from the amount of times we've done the show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I've done shows on the road when we've had Delvin on too. So thankfully the green screen, the technology's working pretty good because I look nice and settled, but you know how it is. So I'm in Atlanta having a good time, not too far from home, and just happy to have another episode of the Bayou Blitz tonight.
Well, and listen, we brought on a show or a guest to not only pretty up our show, but to give it a lot more intellect too. A special friend to both you and I, and to many Saints fans out there, Delvin Breaux. Welcome back to the Bayou Blitz, my family.
Man, thank you guys for having me, man. I'm glad to be back.
Oh, glad to have you. And listen, I know we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things tonight, but I want to open with something that I know you're going to be heavily involved in. And Brendan and I at the Bayou Blitz are proud to be a part of promoting the 11th annual Go Black and Gold charity fan cruise. Now, these proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society, but it's also a terrific event with an ultimate fan experience and heavy involvement from former Saints greats like yourself. Delvin, tell us a little bit about the event, how long you've been involved, and what's going to happen with it this year.
Man, yes. If y'all haven't been on this cruise, y'all need to come on. Bring your behinds on, because we've been waiting on y'all, man. So it's me, Michael Lewis, Bearman. It's who else? We have Tyrone Hughes, we have Courtney Roby, Lance Moore. This is going on my 4th year of cruising, man. I've never been on a cruise before since this Saints one with Shireen, and I got connected with them through Mike Lou, Shireen. I met her and she was telling me about the cruise, and I was telling her about my story and everything. And she was like, "Well, why don't you come on the cruise and we're gonna sit down and have a margarita and talk about it?" And I was like, "Well, how much the cruise cost? Because I ain't got no money right now." She was like, "Don't worry about that. We got you." She said, "Oh, we got you. You're safe, baby. You're who that. So bring your behind on and let's go." And ever since I've gotten on that boat at the Red Frog, I've never missed the one, and I'm not gonna miss no more, man. Just because of what the foundation lies about, right? What it entails, what it details, right? We get on the cruise, we have a welcoming party, we have the Saints gear, everybody come on with their Saints gear and everything. Then we have a little open I think it's open drink. Once you get on the open bar tab and everything, you get on there, you have fun. You're meeting all the other Saints fans. They got family and friends from all over the world being a part of the cruise line, man. And what we do so special with her foundation and on this cruise is we have events, right? So we go do auctions. We have a live auctions with players. You can have dinner with us, right? We have auctions for the players. You get to have a nice dinner with us in the captain's room. We also have putt tournaments. So if y'all got, hey, if anybody out there that's good at putt, I need you on my team because I've been losing. So I need you. So we do that. Then once we get to Cozumel, we go to Paradise Beach, and man, we have like the Beach Olympics out there, man. It's amazing, man. You have it just feel like a family vibe, man. And I want more people to come just because they get to understand not the fun part of it, but the understanding what Shireen's nonprofit is about, overcoming that mental health and disparities, within your health and everything, right? A diagnosis doesn't require a death sentence. So you could continue to keep working, at bettering yourself each and every day, man. And that's what it's about, right? Finding a way to get checked. Her foundation is Get Checked or Checked Out, that was started by Darren DeWalt and her late husband. And she's just been keeping it going, man. All the guys that are in her corner, like me, Mike Lou, Lance, Tyrone Hughes, man, we have her back. Lance Moore, we have her back and everything, man. And it's been phenomenal. And I'm excited, man.
And yeah, I've had a chance to get to know Shireen a little bit over the last couple of weeks as we started to set up helping out this promotion for you guys. And she's such an infectious personality. It's so fun to talk to. Like I said, just an infectious personality. And Saints fans, this cruise is from March 27th to the 31st. And you can contact Shireen DeWalt, but it's best to do so through the Go Black and Gold Celebrity Charity Fan Cruise Facebook page, which Brendan and I post on our pages and post on the Bayou Blitz as well. We're going to have you, Delvin. I know we're going to have you on a couple of more times, to promote this thing. This is just one of a few different events that Shireen is involved with and you're involved with, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So she does this, and we do a lot of other things together. She's my representation or my manager, I say. And we doing a whole bunch of other things, man, with my foundation and her foundation. Especially working with the kids around the city of New Orleans, man. It's really big, man.
Oh, and you're retired now, at least officially retired from football. You were, we were talking a little bit before we went on the air. You're kind of finding different avenues, in life now that you've had a little bit of time away from the game, right?
Man, yeah, man. I'm diving into a whole lot of avenues, and the reason is, man, it's because it's for these kids, man. I can't tell you or count on how many times I've prayed, not just for the city of New Orleans, but for all over the world, man. And these kids need some positivity in their life. They need a positive role model. They need, somebody who's going to be there for them, and not just physically all the time, but be there for them over the phone, mentally, right? If they need a mental health check-in, somebody to just vibe with them. And that's where I'm coming in at, man. I want to be able to be that staple in the community, not just for New Orleans, but I want to work New Orleans first, but not just for New Orleans. I want to go around the world and just show people that their mental health matter, man. Right? All your expressions, your emotions, right? Your mood swings, all that's stemming from your mental, from your mind. And if we can get that in check, then you'll be successful in life, right? So that's my mission. That's our mission together. And we're here to change the world, man.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not only for adults. It's not only for athletes. You and I have little boys around the same age, literally a couple months apart. Mental health and physical checks. Shireen is promoting through her event, and you're promoting through your different events. The earlier that you can get these kids started, and mental and physical upkeep, the better off they're going to be through life, right?
Man, absolutely, Bob. You just hit the nail on the head, man. That's it, bro. These kids need it, and if you and it's not all the time about money. People think, oh man, they just want money. No, it's just time. If you can just give back your time, just being there for those kids and seeing you, you know what I'm saying? That'll light up their eyes to know that they can make it, man. So if you're out there doing positive things, reach back down to some of these kids, man, because they're looking for a helping hand to succeed in life, man, because you've been there before. You've experienced everything up until this point in your life. They haven't. So why not give them the jewels to help them be successful, man? And think about greatness ain't gonna happen overnight. So you're gonna have to work with them constantly. And that's where we're at with it, right?
Delvin, you talk a lot right there about almost seeing yourself in these kids. So my question to you is, at what point, whether it was in your playing career or just in life in general, did it click that your life experiences and what you've gone through, there are so many kids, not just in New Orleans, but around the world going through something similar? And when did it click that, hey, this is my mission and my goal post-football?
I want to say when it clicked on me to really reach back to these kids, I want to say when I was young, but I want to say 25 years old, man, when I forgave my dad, and I forgave myself from all the trauma and the things that happened to me growing up as a kid. And as a young adult, I forgave him, and I was like, you know what, man, it's time for me to start helping these other kids, man. I done been through enough. And I don't want these kids to go through what I went through, especially trying to commit suicide at 9 years old, man. I know the feeling. I know the dark spaces. I know being alone. I know the isolation. I know what that feels like. So being able to be here and be alive and be present, I think is important, man. Because these kids not necessarily just get, like I said, somebody that's there. They're actually getting the knowledge. You're learning something from me, man. And I think it's important.
You talk a lot about that in your book. And over the last few years, there have been so many people that have been touched by your book. You can go just through Amazon reviews. I remember one of the last times you and I spoke about the book, like it was ranking so high amongst biographies sold all time on Amazon. And there are so many things in your story that a lot of Saints fans know about, a lot of people in New Orleans know about, just because you're a New Orleans legend. And I say that all the time when I reference you. You're not just a Saints legend, you're a New Orleans legend for all the work that you've done in the city. Some of those things that are touched on in the book can get very graphic, but very real and very important. And you just talked about a couple of those things. For the people who have not read your book and don't know the full story, tell them why they should go out and get the book, gift the book. If they want to start Christmas shopping early, why that's a go-to gift.
Yeah, man. So I think my book Unbroken is a go-to gift, because it not only talks about perseverance and overcoming a lot of obstacles, man. It also talks about my discipline. It talks about my dignity. It talks about me never giving up. And it talks about me just navigating through life. Overcoming those obstacles. And if you're a person that's suffering from any of those things of wanting to commit suicide, you had an injury and the doctors told you no, or if people just telling you no, you're not gonna make it, you don't have the right people in your corner, man, don't worry about them, man. Just focus on you and focus on your goal, right? Every day, have a goal list, jot something down. And when you read my book, it's gonna make you want to do something. It's gonna motivate you, it's gonna inspire you, to man, I'm not worried about the naysayers. Man, look at Delvin Breaux. He broke his neck and still made it to the NFL despite all that stuff that happened to him. So getting this book is definitely going to inspire you. It's not only going to motivate you, but it's going to get you actively wanting to do something to better yourself. So I would say that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've read through it twice myself. My daughter, my oldest daughter, read it, and like Brendan said, folks, it makes a great gift. You want to self gift it, just for just for a motivational read. It you can't beat the read. You can't beat it. Brendan and I were a fan of you, Delvin, when you played, but we've become a better fan of you as a person. Getting to know you these last couple of years, getting to know your backstory a little bit, and talking to you. And now that you have the opportunity to come back to New Orleans, and give back, that of yourself, it's that much more rewarding, I would think, for you.
Man, absolutely, man. It's definitely rewarding. I get to. I used to say I have to do this, man. I have to get up and go do it. Now I changed those words to I get to. You know what I'm saying? I get to make an impact. I get to get up and go train. I get to get up and go help these kids navigate through life. I get to go give these kids experience so they won't relive the same things that I lived through. You know what I'm saying? Or continue to keep going through the same thing they're going through, man. So it's very touching and promising for each and every one of these kids, man. And I'm here for them, man. I just want them to know that they are loved. Even if they don't feel love, you are loved, man. You are loved. They have people out here that really care about you. So the ones that are in your circle or that's around you or in your environment that's telling you the negative stuff, move away from them. It's okay to move away from them because you have things to do. You have places to go. You have things to see. You have people to inspire and motivate. So don't worry about none of that. Focus on you, you know?
Touching on some of the stuff you're doing for kids in New Orleans over the last couple months now, you have had some training sessions with different kids out in New Orleans. When you go through those things and just teach, ball skills and different football abilities to these kids, how much time are you setting aside to really sit down and have some of these conversations with these kids, do those mental health checks? And what can you see as the teacher in this instance, and what these kids have picked up on at a young age, kind of learning more than just football when they come out to these sessions?
Yeah, man. So me just starting these workout sessions, it wasn't merely about football, right? I use football as the platform, right? Football is the platform, but mental health and me helping these kids out and understanding where they are at physically, mentally, and emotionally is more important than me than running some drills and catching the ball and all that, man, because life is bigger than that. But football also teaches you life problems. You know what I'm saying? It also when you drop a pass and you want to just I'm frustrated. It's like life. When things don't happen in the work office, you want to go home, you want to scream. It's just like life. You got to learn how to find your coping mechanisms. You have to learn how to find, different type of reasons, ways to, reason with people. Like you find ways to understand people. Like it's bigger than the game at the end of the day. And having these kids out there, man, it's inspiring me. They all remind me of me, man, because you see them grinding. You see the grit. You see the want to. You see the kids trying so hard. They're crying out there, man. They're crying because they want to get it right. And that's where I come in. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. It's your second day out here. We're going to get better. We're going to do reps after reps after reps. And then sometimes I call them. I call the parents and I relay the message for the parents to the kids and let them know, like, hey, this is the issues we having with your kid, right? This is the things that they're telling me that we need to work on. And that's what we do, man. Like it's bigger than the game. And that's what I want these kids to understand, that football is just a small dot. It's a small dot. We making it so big, but it's just a small dot because once you retire, that's when you really start to live. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you really start to grind. You got to really get in the workforce. You really got to go work. So football is just a platform. And I want to teach them now at a young age, man. Look, we can do something besides sports. Right? Let me focus on my mental. Maybe I want to become a doctor. Maybe I want to become a lawyer. Maybe you want to become a astronaut, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. I'm pushing it on those kids, man, because some of them football may not make it. For some of them, football may not be it for them. But giving them an outlet and more options to choose from, man, it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing.
We thank you for everything that you've done, not only as a football player, but more importantly off the field, as you mentioned. But we are a football podcast, so we got to talk about the Saints at some point, my friend. What do you think about the 2-0 start so far?
Man, listen, we looking good. We looking good. I've been catching the game here and there, man. But the plays I've seen from highlights and everything, man, like. Man, them boys explosive, man. Like, yo, the way the offense is playing, I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. I can't stand offense. But the way this offense is clicking, man, Kubiak and them doing something. They doing something, bro. And I love it. Whatever they doing, I love it. I love it, man. And the way the defense is playing, bro, come on, bro. Like, I can't sit down. They balling. Hey, Marshawn Lattimore, come on, man. Because these young boys playing.
Yeah.
We need you, bro. Come go be that veteran, Marshawn. Let's go, man. These young boys look up to you. They're waiting on you, and they're dominant right now. So I would give them right now, I'll say a B+, A- overall for 2-week grade. Just because of the 2-0 start, and we're putting up points, man. We're breaking records. So I love it, man.
I know you're a defensive guy, but I have to ask you this question since you were around, you were in the locker room with them. Bob and I referenced last week looking at Alvin Kamara and how he's playing right now, finding the end zone a lot. How we noticed he almost seems to be playing with the joy and the swagger and just the overall fun that he was really early on in his career. Having some technical difficulties. You got us.
Oh.
Delvin's gonna be back. Try the old reconnect trick. But guys, just to kind of talk about and piggyback off of, like, if you guys haven't read the book, you guys haven't heard the story, outside of the ones that we all know. If you're a Saints fan, you know the broken neck to the NFL story. But the multiple layers there, go ahead and get the book. We'll definitely throw the link in the bio of this podcast so you can order it directly through Amazon. We'll give this another shot. Delvin, you good to go?
Yes, sir. We up.
All right. Technical difficulties. Always happens, but we persevere and we push through them. But going back, you were in the locker room with Alvin and around Alvin there during his rookie year. Bob and I kind of referenced the way that he's playing right now is very similar to the joy, the swagger, the passion that it looks like he had in 2017, 2018, and then with injuries and stuff may have lost for a couple years. When you were around Alvin, how infectious was his personality, and how did that radiate through the locker room and through the team?
Yeah, man. AK, he a dog, man. He's one of the most humblest, coolest cats ever, bro. Like I said, I never talked. I always stood to myself, mainly. But knowing AK and being around the locker room with him, man, cool cat, bro. Baller. He don't really say too much. He about his action, right? About that action, boss. That's all he about, man. And just his energy and his characteristic and his swag, the things he brought to the team when he came in, bro, it was different. It made us different. It made us a better team. And you know the way he's playing right now, man. It like I said, it reminds me of when he came out his rookie year, bro. This gonna be one of them record breaking years for him, man. If you know he stay healthy, and he continue to keep punching the clock every week, bro. This guy's amazing, man. He's amazing.
Well, and like you said, the offense is getting all the attention with the way they're playing. It's hard to overlook them. But yeah, the defense isn't getting enough love early on this season. But we know that this defense can ball. We Brendan and I have said many times that we believe that the Saints cornerback unit now with Marshawn, Debo, Alante, it's the best unit in the NFL. Depth and talent wise. You played for the man. What was so good about playing cornerback for a Dennis Allen defense?
Man, playing cornerback for DA, man, it's awesome, bro. You just got to be able to play with confidence and swag. That's all he wants from you, playing with confidence and swag out there, man. His plays are simple, right? All you got to do is just lock in, do your job, prepare, right? So you can eliminate the poor performances, and he just expects you to go out there and dominate, man. Do what you do. That's why you're here in the pros in the league. Right, his scheme, the way he had the scheme dialed up for us, bro, it's perfect. Cornerbacks will want to play in his secondary, man. You will want to play for him just because he got love. He was a DB himself. It's love there, man. So it's awesome, man. I think it's awesome.
Well, and DA, and Marshawn Lattimore is the kind of guy that a lot of times DA has used to shadow an opponent's best wideout. Well, you were kind of that guy. I can specifically remember going up against Julio Jones in particular. When you're that guy, when you are the shutdown guy and you're doing your job, tell us, and I've written about it, but I want to hear it come from an NFL player's mouth too. Tell us what that attribute, what that ability does for the remainder of the defense.
Yeah, man, being that shutdown corner, and being able to travel with the team's number one, man, it eliminates a lot. Because this guy is X'd out. That feels good as a DB, man. That feels good, coach. Like, hey, bro, you know who you got this week? You already know what time it is, coach. So to have that chip on your shoulder when you go out there, man, I mean, you're a dog. You're a dog, man. You want to be labeled that shutdown corner. You want to be able to go out there and say, I got him. I got this team's best receiver, and I'm going to shut him down. I'm going to limit to him as much as possible, right? And that's a credit to your work and your craft, man. You got to watch your film, lots of film, right? You got to work on your craft each and every day, and then you got to go out there and just dominate. Know you the best when you touch that field, man. So
there's not a lot of players, not just in Saints history, but in NFL history that get a chance to play for their hometown team. It's a short list. For you, you got to do that. You're now seeing Tyrann Mathieu do that. And so how much pressure, if any, comes with representing not just the team and the logo, but the city itself? Is there a weight on your shoulders for that? Or for you personally, was it more of a, oh, I get to do this. I don't have to, but I get the opportunity to represent my hometown?
No, man, there's no pressure. When you playing for your hometown team, for myself, just speaking on myself and my experience, I never brought into the pressure, never brought into the hype. I just did me, man. I just, because I knew that comes with the territory, man. When you go to the barbershops, bro, you hear those barbers talk about, look at him and he gave up 2 touchdowns. Man, you don't want to hear that, man. You do not want to go to the barbershop after a loss, man. So man, I just humbled myself, man. I didn't let the pressure get to me. I knew there was going to be a lot of pressure that people were going to try to put up on me. But I wasn't worried about them, man, because I knew what I've been through to get to here to this point. So nobody could tell me anything, bro. And I was just humble, man. I was confident. I knew I had to represent for the city. Being here and born and raised in New Orleans, I had to show out week in and week out, man. So preparation definitely was key for me. And that let off a whole lot of pressure for the city, man. So it was good.
Delvin, I know you got to get running here in a minute, but tell our fans again about the Go Black and Gold Charity Fan Cruise event that you're involved in now.
Yeah, man, the Go Black and Gold Charity Cruise. Y'all make sure y'all show up and stop playing. Just come one time, and I promise you, you're going to come back more and more. I said it the first time I came on, I said, yeah, I don't know about this. But then once I got on and I started getting involved in all the activities, man, I came back. It's my going on my fourth one. So you're definitely going to enjoy it. You're definitely going to get understanding about the health disparities and understanding about get checked to check out and what it means. You're going to meet so many great people on the cruise, man. Then you get to hang with us, man. Me, Mike Lewis, Beer Man, Tyrone Hughes, Lance Moore, y'all favorite Lance. I know y'all love Lance. Then we got Courtney Roby. So y'all come out there, y'all get to enjoy your time with us, man. We have events that we do on the cruise. We have dinners that we do on the cruise, auctions. And I think it's phenomenal. So if you've missed it and you always wanted to go, I suggest you go. Save up your coins and go. It's going to be awesome.
There you go.
I'll even throw out there, I'm not a person that thinks I could ever get on a boat for that long. Like, that whole thing kind of freaks me out. But if Delvin's starting to convince me, maybe I should look into it. I know he's convincing those other people as well. Delvin, before we let you go, I'm going to throw it out there. I know Bob will throw it out there too. We've been working with you for almost a decade now, which is nuts.
A few years, yeah.
Yep.
So next time you're in Charlotte, give me a buzz. Dinner's on me, my friend.
Hey, look at that. Absolutely. I'm going to hold you to that, man.
Absolutely. And hopefully I'll get out to New Orleans again sometime soon.
Yeah, man. Just let me know, bro. We here. I can pull up on you, come holler at you and everything, man. It's definitely a blast, bro. I always appreciate coming on your guys' show and being able to talk ball and talk about my journey, man, because you guys are allowing me to have this space and the floor. I'm forever grateful. I'm thankful always, and we always locked in. But one thing I want y'all to remember, go get that book, Unbroken. It's on Amazon.
We're going to link it in the bio.
Yep, link in the bio. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Right? Let me say that again. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. So it's all on you to go as far as you want to go in life. It starts up here in the mind, right? If you start it in the mind, your body's going to physically be able to do it. If you tell your mind negative thoughts, you're going to do negative things. But if you talk positive to yourself and give yourself positive enlightenment, each and every day, gratitude, man, the world is the limit. The universe is yours. So I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all. Who that?
Who dat? We'll talk soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Delvin. Again, that was Delvin Breaux. I think Brendan and I can honestly consider him a legitimate friend. I hope he feels the same way about us. I know he's a friend of the show. Folks, fans, viewers, followers, friends, family, make sure you do go to that Black and Gold Celebrity Charity Fan Cruise Facebook page. Delvin's on there. Mike Lewis, like you said, Tyrone Hughes, Lance Moore, Courtney Roby. That cruise is March 27th to the 31st. And there's contact information for Shireen DeWalt, who's overseeing the event and overseeing all the other events that she does. Make sure you reach out. Get involved, with the cruise, donate if you can. And we're going to, again, we're so proud, to be involved with promoting this cruise, for her, for Delvin, and for you guys. And we're going to be talking about this week after week. But we're so thankful that Delvin, had an opportunity, to take some time out of his busy schedule. We know we'll have him back too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about Delvin, I mean, we're talking about Alvin Kamara and his infectious personality, and Delvin was alluding to that as well when he came in 17. It's really hard to, and probably impossible, to talk to Delvin and not get a smile on your face and not feel motivated. Like, the guy radiates energy, radiates positivity. I can speak from personal experience, whether it's been on this show, whether it's been doing mental health podcasts that I've hosted as well. I mean, the man is just so open, generous with his time, kind, and more than anything, just wants to give back to people, which I think is huge. You know, we have so many people in the world, and so many athletes, and so many, superstars and people that are just admired that don't end up giving back and almost forget their roots. And that's one thing Delvin's never forgot. His roots, his people. He's always taking care of his own. And even past that, he's taking care of people that aren't his own and made them his own. And that's what he's doing with the kids down there in New Orleans every week, with those football drills, football camps, what have you. Good guy, Delvin Breaux. We're happy to have him on. Happy to call him a part of the Bayou Blitz family. We know we'll have him back.
Yeah.
And for the book, like I said, if you're watching live, just hop over to wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, what have you. We'll have a link to the book in the bio. So if you're listening through one of those platforms as well, we will have the link. It's in the bio. Go ahead and get you a copy of the book. Or if you want to reach out to Delvin via Instagram or Twitter, I know he's still signing copies of the book, and I'm sure he'll do a whole thing of that for the holidays as well. Well, Bob, I guess we'll talk about a 2-0 start. I guess we'll talk about a team who is going to face a rattled Eagles team after losing on Monday night, and a team that's going to be without their number one receiver in A.J. Brown, or at least that's how it looks so far, and essentially confirmed by Brown himself, saying he's going to be out a few weeks with injury. But before we do that, let's give people our picks of the week, Bob. This is going to be our weekly game. You know me. I like betting games every single week. It's just another one. We're going to put Bob on the spot for these this week. We'll put me on the spot next week. And then after that, I got a wedding, so you guys might not see us for a while. So we get to rejuvenate, and hopefully you guys don't hate us if the picks don't hit. But we're going to do some picks for the week. So just a reminder to all of you, you guys already know it's the greatest time of the year again. Football's back, and it's here to stay until February. You can win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Bob and I played Underdog Fantasy. We picked a higher or lower. We've done okay this year. Hopefully better this upcoming week. But I'll tell you guys how easy it is. Making the picks is so straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with our promo code. Bob, how exciting is that? Our own promo code, Bayou Blitz. And Underdog is going to give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy promo code Bayou Blitz to claim your new customer special of a free pick, and your deposit offer must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Bob, let's give them our Underdog, higher or lower, our picks of the week. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try to keep it simple for you, Bob. I'm not going to try to trip you up. I'm going to try to give you the assist. So these are our three for the week. We're going to keep them all Saints related. I think that's only fair, or at least this game related. So the first, Bob, because this is a guy who's been balling out, really balling out on the defensive side. Finally getting some national recognition after the first 2 weeks of the season, and certainly last year. Finally making a Pro Bowl, so you know who I'm going towards. We got the linebacker, Demario Davis. Higher or lower than half a sack?
I'm going to go higher because we all know how mobile Jalen Hurts is, what a problem he can be with his legs. The Saints and Dennis Allen certainly know what a problem Jalen Hurts can be with his legs. The Saints are going to need pressure from their front four, no doubt about it. But we know, watching the Saints and Demario Davis the last couple of years, that he is a factor on every single play, whether it's run support, pass coverage, or rushing the passer. And Demario can and has been a disruptive blitzer. But I got to go over half sack here, because if nothing else, if and when Jalen Hurts breaks containment, if a Chase Young or a Brian Bresee gets through, who's going to track him down? Well, it's going to be 56. I expect Demario to have a big game, both as a run defender and a spy and a player that can put pressure on Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I'm going to go higher there.
All right. The big question, even the national pundits this week have asked, can Derek Carr continue his hot start? Bob, Derek Carr higher or lower than 235.5 passing yards this week?
Oh, wow, that's tough. Derek hasn't gotten to even 230 yet this year, because they haven't had to throw the ball hardly at all in the second half. But you look at this Eagles defense, and they're struggling right now against the pass and the run. I think the Saints are going to come in with a run-heavy game plan. Derek's going to get his shots. I think he throws a couple of touchdowns, but as far as 235, one of two things has to happen. Either he's got to hit 3 or 4 big plays down the field, or the Saints are going to end up throwing the ball 30-ish times a game. I know they don't want to do the latter. I'm actually going to go lower on the Derek Carr 235 passing yards.
But based off what you just said, you would take the higher on 1.5 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I would. I feel another 2 or 3 touchdown game coming. Again, Alvin's going to get his. It looks like Taysom Hill returned to practice today. So it looks like he's probably going to go on Sunday. But what the Saints have been doing, they've been keeping defenses off balance with that off tackle and stretch running attack. That's allowing Derek to hit those big plays and key passes on play action and rollouts. So I feel another 2 or 3 touchdown game out of Derek today on Sunday. Excuse me.
And I'll just throw my own in there, so you guys can blame me if you want, as well as Bob. I like Chris Olave over half a touchdown.
Yeah.
Or higher than half a touchdown. I really do, because he hasn't caught one this year. You saw progress from week 1 to week 2. I think week 3 finally gets in the end zone. Last one for you, Bob, higher or lower? It's going to be on Devonta Smith. The Eagles receiver, we already talked about Brown, A.J. Brown, likely missing this week. So higher or lower for Devonta Smith on 73.5 receiving yards?
That's a tough one there. And I'm not going to cop out by saying a toss-up, but it literally feels like it. I'm going to go lower. We know that the Eagles want to run the football. With Jalen Hurts, they need to run to set up the pass. Even if it's Jalen himself taking off with the football, they're especially going to come in with, I think, that kind of game plan on Sunday without A.J. Brown. We just got done talking with Delvin Breaux about how good this Saints secondary is, how good Dennis Allen is at coaching, pass defense and cornerbacks in particular. I think the Saints have too much talent at cornerback, and I like Devonta Smith as a player. He's a playmaker, very slippery route runner, and just a big play waiting to happen. But I think the Saints are just too good on the back end. I'm going to go hesitantly. I'm going to go under what'd you say, 73?
Yeah, going lower than 73.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go lower than 73.5 receiving yards.
There you go. Those are the picks of the week. I'll throw one more in there for you guys. The give me pick of the week is CeeDee Lamb for over half a total yard. So throw that in there. Throw that in there, right? You can go ahead and throw it all together for your pick'em entry. And that would give you five? We gave you 5, maybe 6 different picks you can throw together for that pick'em entry, and hopefully we are correct. Follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet out a few. We still call tweet, yeah.
It's either that or X'd, and that doesn't feel right. So we'll still say tweet.
Sound good. Like, I don't want to be X'd. I don't know what that means.
Right.
X'd. So check me out on X Twitter, and we'll put some of that information out there for you. Bob, this is a Saints team that has caught the eyes of a lot. A lot of people are starting to say nationally that this is a team that should contend in the playoffs. Right? We're not talking about just for the NFC South. We're talking about a team that can contend to potentially win the NFC. Do you think it's too early to say that, or do you really think the Saints team is that good?
Both. It's only 2 games. So on one hand, I tell people, slow your roll. Let's see if they can sustain this. Especially with a talented Eagles team. Then you have the Falcons, Chiefs, and then the rest of your division. The Buccaneers are 2-0 also. So I want to say slow your roll. But then on the other hand, I want to tell some people, we told you so. Brendan and I told you so. We said this Saints team is as talented as anyone on the defensive side at all 3 levels. They have 2 playmakers at receiver. They have a quarterback that can make the throws in the right system and the right circumstances. And Alvin Kamara is as talented a running back as they come. And again, we told you so. Clint Kubiak was a hell of a hire at offensive coordinator. So, all these things have shown themselves in the first 2 weeks. Now, if they can sustain themselves, do I believe they can be a contender? Yeah. Am I ready to crown them champions yet? No, not after 2 weeks. I want to see how they do, in these upcoming tests, tests that they have on the schedule. I feel pretty good about their chances. I love the way that they're playing on, in every facet of the game, special teams included. But I'm not ready to crown them just yet.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And I think that's the important thing to preach to people. It's 2 weeks. And we'll be honest here. We like to be honest for the most part. We did say these first 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the season for the Saints were going to be the most difficult stretch of their schedule. And it was going to be a good way to measure where the team was at in terms of actually competing for the NFC South and actually competing in the playoffs. Through 2 games, I mean, Delvin gave them an A-. As a guy who's been in that locker room before, I think it's a fair grade. Somewhere in that A- to A range is probably where this team belongs. But the question is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? It's really impressive they put up 91 points.
Oh, yeah.
But let's be honest, Bob. We can say through the course of NFL history that's not sustainable. They're not going to be putting up 40 points every week. But are they going to do enough to where they can be successful?
Yeah.
And do enough to where the offense can win them games and the defense can win them a game if they had to.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. At this point, I think the Eagles are a good test, even with them being banged up, even with them coming off of a bad week, even with the question marks surrounding that team and even a head coach on a hot seat, potentially. That might be a little early, I think. I know there were some questions at the end of last year, but I still think it's early now. If they get blown out by New Orleans, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that conversation can start happening. But this is a team that has been very competitive the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand maybe the want or the need to see that team take it to the next level and play at that next level. But also, like, it's been just like we were saying about this, it's been 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's injuries, but it's been 2 weeks. Can Philly fans? I mean, it's Philly. Philly fans are nuts. Philly's just nuts in general. But can you really sit there and go, "Oh yeah, like it's time to fire the head coach"? I don't know. But I digress. I still think it's a good test.
It is.
This is a team that has been competitive. This is a team that has been to a Super Bowl. This is a team that has a quarterback that at times in the last 2 years has been the front runner for MVP at some point in the season. Their defense is not playing very well. I think I saw a stat today that at least fantasy-wise, they're like 30th against opposing receivers, which is not good. It could mean another big day for Rashid Shaheed. It could mean a big day for Chris Olave.
Yeah.
They're not stopping the run very well. I mean, look, Kirk Cousins, who Bob makes a lot of fun of, I think that Kirk deserves more credit than what Bob gives him.
Never from me, partner.
Yeah, I know. But for me, I think like he's an average NFL quarterback, right? So, but he's playing coming off of an injury. He's not 100%. He said he's not 100%. And you lose at home to that team. Yeah, like I get it. I understand that that's not the greatest loss of all time. But do you not think this team's going to come back pissed off after that loss? Do you not think this team's not going to come back on a short week and say, now we got to go to New Orleans and we have to play one of the hottest teams in football? You know that the Saints are going to get the Philadelphia Eagles' absolute best on Sunday. Oh,
yeah. And, listen, I talked about this on Tuesday night with Alan Ulrich on Under the Dome. In my opinion, Philadelphia has as talented a roster as anyone in the National Football League when you look at offense and defense combined. But something just seems to be missing from them, especially on the defensive side. You mentioned Kirk Cousins. I don't know where the pressure has been, the quarterback pressure has been for Philadelphia, starting from the last half of last year. The pieces are on. You look at this defensive front seven, and you're like, they're probably putting the quarterback on their back 4 or 5 times a game, and that's what they did 2 years ago. But not since. They can't stop the run. Bijan Robinson tore through them on, and this is significant, off tackle and stretch plays. What do the New Orleans Saints like to do, at least under Clint Kubiak? Off tackle, stretch plays, pitch plays. Getting Alvin Kamara in space. Falcons did a great job of getting Bijan Robinson in space, getting them to the second level, and Philly was helpless to stop it. Philadelphia looks like a team in disarray right now. However, I picked them to win the NFC East this year. Even the national talking idiots that were down on the Eagles, it was funny because they talked down on the Eagles, yet they still had them making the wild card. Finishing second to Dallas in the NFC East, but still a playoff team. So even the prognosticators that were down on these Eagles as of 2 weeks ago still viewed them as a playoff team. So yeah, this is going to be a challenge for New Orleans. You and I, when we looked at this schedule coming up, we all felt like Carolina week 1 was going to be a win, and we felt like, okay, if the Saints are going to have a good season, you got to come out with at least a split against the Cowboys and Eagles, to consensusly viewed as playoff teams. Well, you beat Dallas, so now. Now you not only have momentum on your side, you're hosting the Eagles, who are who should be reeling just a little bit. And that, therefore, it's not only going to be a test on the field for New Orleans, it's going to be a test of mentality too. You're the one that has the confidence, and you're the one that now also has to hold off a team who might be in a little bit of an early season desperation mode. Do you have that motivation? Do you have that killer instinct to get them down and keep them down early? It's going to. I asked that same kind of question about the Cowboys going on the road. Now it's a similar scenario, but a different. Different set of circumstances, that you're facing in week 3, but an equal challenge because, again, like you said, the Eagles should come out fighting.
I expect their absolute best. I expect this to be a little bit more of a challenging game for New Orleans. Now, that's not saying much considering the first 2 weeks of the season.
Right.
But I do expect this to be a little bit more competitive. I could still see the Saints win by 2 scores, just depending on how it goes. But I do see this being a little bit more competitive and not over at halftime, like the first 2 weeks of the season have been. It's been nice, Saints fans. Don't get me wrong. It's been nice. Not a whole lot of stress. We as media haven't had many negative things to say. Like it's been nice. But again, it's not sustainable. At this level, they could still continue to win. That's sustainable.
Sure.
But putting teams away at halftime, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's not a team in NFL history that did that for an entire season. There have been teams that have been pretty darn close. There have been some really good teams, but there's never been a team that's just – I don't know if there's been a team where you could say that they've put the team away at halftime for 6 games to 8 games in a season. Honestly, I would have to go back and look at the numbers, but I don't remember even the undefeated Patriots teams like really blowing anybody out.
A couple, but that was it.
Not like through the entire course of the season. Like Randy Moss was a problem, but not to the point where Randy was having 3 catches for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every go of it. So I don't know.
Listen, folks. This isn't Brendan or myself saying professing doubts in either the Saints offense or the defense. But guys, there are going to be weeks, where this team is in a 20-17 slugfest late in the fourth quarter. And at that point, does your offense, who's been maybe struggling the majority of the day, does your offense then have the ability, coaching and player wise, to step up and make a play when it counts, to pull out a game late? There'll be other games where you might be in a 35-31 shootout, with the other team. You're up, but the other team is driving late. Defense has been vulnerable most of the game. Can the defense step up and make a play with the game on the line? Those are going to be the ways that this team will be tested this year. Whether it happens this week or not, we shall see. But that's what we're saying. That until that test happens, that's going to be a true measuring stick, to how competitive, how much of a contender this team is truly going to be this year.
I'm going to throw this question up or comment from DJ, and this is how I kind of want to close out this evening. DJ says last year everybody wanted to hang DA and Derek Carr. Now the tables have turned. Sean Payton is completely out of the building. I've asked you this question numerous times about what is it going to take for Derek Carr to win the fan base back. I want to kind of expand on that and say if this team wins more than 10 games, like gets to double digits, wins the NFC South, and wins a playoff game, has DA and DC won this fan base back?
First of all, as you know, you folks that follow my work too know, that I predicted the Saints to be in the 10-7, 11-6 range this year. Maybe even to win a playoff game, but not to make a deep Super Bowl run. So to answer your question, it would depend on how the season ended. If they went hypothetically 11-6, won the NFC South, won a playoff game or two, but then some questionable. They lose in either the divisional round or possibly even the conference championship, but they lose in a way that coaching can be legitimately questioned, or Derek throws 3 interceptions or is just off the mark all game. There's a portion of this fan base, and you folks know the people that I mean, the people that were almost wanting this team to go 4-13 and 5-12, rooting for it. At least felt like they were rooting for it, just to get another coach, just to get another quarterback. Those are the people that are going to come flying back out of the woodwork. Hell, this team could go 16-1, and lose in the Super Bowl, on a last-second interception, and that would cause these people to come out of the woodwork. So to win over those people, it would take a Super Bowl victory. Anything short, and this team is not good enough with Dennis Allen. This team is not good enough with Derek Carr. As far as the rest of the fan base, I think that a playoff berth and a playoff run, you win a game or two in the playoffs, I think that would be a pleasant surprise to a lot of people, myself included. I mean, I picked them for a playoff berth, to win the South, but I don't necessarily expect a deep playoff run this year. I don't think the team is quite there yet. So obviously, it would be a pleasant surprise to me if that happened. So if it did, I think that it would win back or win over a good portion of the fan base. But there are the ABCs, the anybody but Cars, or the ABDAs, the anybody but Dennis Allen crowd that you won't be able to please no matter what.
Right. No, I understand that. I think that's actually a logical answer. And I want to just piggyback off Bob as well. We're not saying that the Saints are bad. We're not saying that this is a team that can only win one playoff game. We're saying that if they were to do that, they're way ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Because based off what we'd seen over the last 3 years, and even going into this year, the question marks that we had, did not expect this to be a team that makes a deep run, and we're certainly pleasantly surprised with the start of the season as well.
Yeah, and again, it happens with the team every single year. I felt like the Detroit Lions last year were ready to take a step forward. I picked them to go to the playoffs. I did not see an NFC Championship run out of them, and a team that should have won the NFC Championship. A couple years before that, I felt the same way about the Bengals. Hey, I think this team is ready for a playoff run. Didn't see a trip to the Super Bowl. So it happens pretty much every year with some team. Are the Saints that team this year? Again, Brendan and I were talking all throughout the offseason. We love Kubiak, Kamara, the skill position talent, love the entire defense, but we were worried about some key questions. So far, or we had some key concerns. I'll rephrase that. So far, those concerns have been answered in a nothing but positive way. So if they could sustain that, hell, you never know.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Bob, we're going to be back Sunday morning with the pregame show and then a postgame show exclusively on your Apples and Spotifys and what have you. But in the meantime, you have some articles to come out, some news to break, just the normal day in the life of Bob. Where can people follow you in your work?
Yeah, folks. Just today, or in the last 2 days, I've written out a run defense and a pass defense preview going up against the Eagles this Sunday. If you catch that. In case you missed it, I'll be doing the offense tomorrow, rushing game and passing game versus the Eagles defense. Today, several prominent former Saints are among the modern era nominees for the class of 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame. Last week, there's some key senior members that were nominated. Saints legends that have been retired, for a long time now. Pat Swing should be in. So check out that piece as well. And check out all of us on the Saints News Network, where I publish my articles, and I also publish them on my personal pages. Bob Rose on Facebook, at Bobby R2613 on X Twitter. And if you are watching us live tonight, then you already are a member of the Bayou Blitz Facebook group or one of our affiliated groups. So we thank you for that. And our affiliated groups are, tell me if you don't know it off the top of your, okay. Who Dat Bayou Blitz, obviously, Who Dat Domination, Smoking Hot New Orleans Saints Social Club, and Under the Dome. So if you are watching us live tonight, you are already a member of the one or all of those groups, and we thank you for that. If you're catching us on our delayed, and you want to be part of our live extravaganzas, make sure you join the Bayou Blitz Facebook group or the Bayou Blitz Twitter page at Bayou Blitz Pod.
Glad you threw Twitter out there at the end, because you must have been reading my mind. So I was like, they can catch us on Twitter now too. We did work this week to make sure people watch us on Twitter again.
Right.
Because so many people were like, "Where did you go?" We're back live on Twitter, so you just got to follow at Bayou Blitz Pod, at Bobby R2613, or at BT Boylan, and you have access to hang out with us live on Twitter again, or join one of those Facebook groups that Bob mentioned before. We will be linking the book Unbroken by Delvin Breaux in the bio of this podcast. So make sure you go and check that out. We'll also drop all of Delvin's socials so you can give him a follow if you don't already. For me, you can follow me virtually everywhere at BT Boylan. Bob and I will be back for a Sunday pregame show to break down the very latest between the New Orleans Saints and the Philadelphia Eagles as the Saints look to start 3-0 for the first time since when, Bob?
I'm going to say 2019. No.
Sure. I was hoping you'd know.
I don't know. I don't know, because they went on that 4-year losing streak of week 2 losses that they broke last week against the Cowboys. So that takes us back to 2018, where we know they lost the opener against the Bucs. We know they lost the first 2 games in 2017, first 2 games in 2016.
They didn't start 3-0 at 14 or 15.
No.
Or 13.
I don't think they started to. I know they started 0 in 2012. I know they lost their opener in 2011. I don't think they started 3-0 in 2010. We might be going all the way back to the Super Bowl year of 2009.
I'll have to double check that, but I think you're right. Yeah, because it was weird those years that they were really good, 17, 18, 19, 20, because it was like they didn't start the year well, but they ended the year well. So anyway, we'll do some research for you. We'll get the Saints history up for you by Sunday. Until then, I hope you guys find some peace, spread love, practice positivity. We'll see you Sunday for the Bayou Blitz pregame show. See you then.